Today I'm talking to Dutch musician and YouTube personality Blanks. Now, you refer to yourself as an overexcited music boy. When did you first get into music and become this overexcited music boy?
Oh, that's a great question. I say I started out playing guitar when I was about 10, and when I was about, I think, 15, I started playing music with friends, and that's when the excitement part came in. I love just making up new stuff, so when we started writing our own songs and recording them into my computer, that was the most fun part, and that's where the excited music boy is coming from.
Right. So how old are you now? How long has this excited boy been going?
I have to think about. I'm 23 actually, so I think about 5 years.
Yeah, that's a long time to be that excited, but
Yeah, I know. I'm a bit tired now.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks.
And now, currently, you have nearly 1.2 million subscribers on YouTube. How long has it taken to build up this following?
Oh, that's a good question. I think 7 years. I started actually out because I watched a lot of UK vloggers, and I loved what they were doing. And I just got bored, and I felt like, well, let's try that too. And then, so I started out vlogging, and then a few years later, around the time I started making music and recording it, I was like, maybe I can combine this, so do something with music on my channel. And that's kind of when things really took off. So I'd say it took 7 years to get to where I am right now, and it took about, I think, 3 years from the point where I switched my channel to doing music.
And is that when you really saw the growth of your channel?
Yeah, definitely, because I did this, I started out with these 1 hour song challenges. So I'd ask my followers, hey, which song do you like right now? And should I remake it in an hour? And people really seem to love that. And I actually did this all in Dutch first because I'm Dutch. And then one of my Dutch videos kind of went viral in the States. So it got I think 700,000 views or something like that. So I was like, okay, it's been my dream to switch to English for so many years, but there's not going to be a better moment than this. And then I just switched everything to English. And that's kind of when everything really started blowing up.
Yeah. I mean, now you're flying, so it seems it was probably a good choice.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, a lot goes into the videos you make, and it's all from you. So, it's kind of a one-man band kind of thing. How many instruments can you actually play?
Okay, so let's list them. I can play guitar, bass guitar, ukulele, piano, sing. I'd say a little bit of drums, but really just a little bit. I can play a basic rhythm. And then I count my computer as an instrument too, because I can do so many things with my program. So that's seven things.
Wow.
Oh, and I can sing. Wait, eight things.
That's quite a few. Have you always
it's crazy.
Musical? Is it in the family?
Yeah, my dad used to play drums too, and my mom sang in the same band as my dad used to play. So they always encouraged me and my brother. I have a brother to take musical classes and stuff like that. So there's always been music around our household, I'd say.
Yeah, that's more than most people. So you can definitely be proud of that one.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned one of your video types, the 1 hour song challenge, and you really document each stage of the creation in these. Can you talk me through a bit about what you're thinking when making these songs?
Okay, so I listen to the song and I'm like, okay, how can I remake this and make it more sound like a song I would make? So I want to try to change the genre a little bit towards something I'd make, which is happy indie music, I'd say. And then I just to try to just dissect the layers as quickly as possible. So I'm like, okay, we have the vocal melody. Which layers would I add? So I'm like, okay, I need drums, I need a bass guitar, maybe a little synth pad thing. And I'm just coming up with these layers, and I try to add them as quickly as possible within that hour. And then hopefully it sounds good. And then at a certain point, I'm like, okay, I'm getting confident. This is going into the right direction. And then I add a little synth melody here or a little guitar part there and record some backing vocals. And that's basically it.
Do you find it quite a difficult thing to do?
The difficult thing is not necessarily making a different version of it, but it's making a good version. Because I could use the same trick every time, and then it would get boring really fast. So it's the challenge is to challenge yourself every time, and be more critical. Okay, so are we still going to do the same drum rhythm, or are we going to use different sounds? Or maybe we shouldn't have like a big chorus, but a small chorus. How can we like keep it interesting?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it does seem like you're managing to do that if we're looking at what's going on.
Thanks.
With your recent single, Silly People, which was released on the 1st of May, now, this song has a bit of an interesting meaning to it. Can you explain to me what it is about?
Well, I wanted to make like a happy song, which if you would listen to the lyrics, actually had a deeper layer. So I see a lot of people around me who are kind of struggling in finding their thing in life, you know? So a lot of friends of mine are studying, but they don't really know what they want to do after that. And sometimes it feels like they're kind of lost or something. And I feel like that's something that is going on with a lot of people right now from my generation, or maybe even the generation below me. There's just so many stimuli all the time from computers and social media, and you know, you see everyone else's highlights and stuff like that, and it's just nothing seems to be good enough in some way. So people just get lost looking for meaning, and they try to look in all the wrong places, which is, for example, on Instagram, they see the highlights of someone else, and they're like, oh, I want to have that. But it's like it's going to take like 6 to 10 years to get there. And people don't really like the process or stuff like that. And they don't really know where to look for something they really like. So that's kind of like my thought process when I came about this single.
That's really interesting. I think that definitely does apply to the current young generation for sure.
Yeah.
Do you feel the reaction you've had from the song so far is that you were looking to make?
I think so, yeah. A lot of people are saying, oh, it sounds like such a fun song. And then other people are saying, whoa, I checked out the lyrics, and there's actually a lot going on there. And that's like the fun part for me, you know. If somebody just throws it on and listens to it and dances to it, that's fine. But if someone looks at the lyrics and they're like, whoa, wait a second, that's actually the coolest part, I think.
Yeah, it's always good when there's another layer to it.
Yeah, I agree.
You mentioned social media a lot in that meaning there, and how it's affecting people. So, for you, it seems to play quite a role in your life as a musician, social media. How would you describe your relationship with it?
Oh, that's a really good question. I'd say I depend on it for some part of my job and my music, because that's the way how people find me and my music. And I really like making stuff for example, for YouTube. I love that. But on the other hand, there's also this part of me, for example, I could like post to Instagram every day or something, but I sometimes neglect that a little bit because I just want to have fun with friends or something and don't worry about making a picture to show the world what I'm doing in that moment. So it's like, I wouldn't say hate-love relationship. It's like sometimes I'm not really in the mood to be social media, and sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm going to share everything today, and I'm just going to make story posts and make pictures of everything.
That sounds to me like quite a healthy relationship. You can kind of see the balance within that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to have some time away and just enjoy yourself with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Another way you use Instagram is for your following to help you write songs. Can you talk me through that idea?
Okay, so I'm in the studio, and I'm starting from scratch, and I just ask the people for input. So do we want a happy or a sad song? Do we want a fast or a slow song? Do we want to start out with a piano or a guitar? And then people can vote on my Instagram. And the choice that gets the most voted is what I do. So, for example, if people vote for happy, upbeat guitar, which they basically always do, I just started on a guitar and tried to come up with something happy, and then I asked, okay, should we start out with bass or drums, or what type of topics or like themes do you feel for this? Do you have any like idea for lyrics or melodies? And then people are just DMing me and sending me little melodies and ideas of lyrics and lines. And in like, I think in like a day, I usually make a track with all their input. So it's basically like a few 10,000 people throwing ideas at me, and I'm like cherry picking the ones that I think are the coolest.
Wow, that's a whole lot of contributors you've got to choose from there. I bet that's quite a challenge.
I know, it's really exhausting, to be honest.
When you're asking for themes from people, do you tend to see a trend with what people want to see?
Yes. So, for example, I did one last week actually, and there were like three major topics. One is like spring. People want a spring song. I'm not sure what that means, but a lot of people are just saying, "Oh, a spring song." So that's like one thing. Another one is not well because the Corona situation right now. A lot of people said, "Let's write a song about what you're gonna do when Corona ends and you can see your friends again." That was another topic. And then the third pillar is like all sorts of random ideas. That goes from love songs to reflective songs to sad songs to whatever. And basically every session you see like a few of those ideas, which a lot of people have and vote on, and then there are like lots of like random ideas.
I bet the trends kind of make it a bit more easy to pick what you're going to do.
Yeah, if a lot of people are saying, let's do this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds pretty fair.
So you mentioned one of them that came up is the coronavirus situation.
Mm-hmm.
For you, how have you been using your time in quarantine? It appears it's been used pretty productively.
Yeah, I read somewhere else, it's not a productivity contest right now, but I feel like I'm the most productive I've been in a while, which is a really great feeling, to be honest. So I've been making a lot of stuff, a lot of new music and videos for YouTube, and I'm also working behind the scenes on some music for other people, which is great. And I'm able to spend a lot of time on myself, so I'm like reading books again and working out. I picked up skateboarding again, which is like much fun. So yeah, I actually have a pretty good quarantine so far.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you've done more than some people do normally.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you've used it that well, but I definitely agree it's not a productivity contest. It just depends on the person, I guess, at the time.
Yeah. And there's definitely going to be a few days where I feel less productive and I just want to lay in bed and watch Netflix, for example. But yeah, most of my days are actually spent pretty productive, which I think is nice. I like that.
Yeah, that is very nice. I'd like that too.
Yeah.
So you've been on quite a journey as a musician and come up pretty fast. What would your advice to other musicians looking to get out there be?
Get out there as soon as possible. A lot of people who want to do something with music hold on to their stuff until they feel it's perfect. And to be honest, it's never going to be perfect. So I'd say make something, put it out for the world to see and discover it, and go on to the next thing. And that's how I started. When I check out my first videos and songs, I'm like, okay, this is not the best. But, people are connecting to it, and they grow with you. You grow into a better direction. You get better, and people are going to stick along. And the most important thing is the connection with people, I think. So the sooner you start building that, the better.
Right, yeah, I see that. People shouldn't really be looking for the perfect self of them. Just do it and see where they can go from there.
Just do it. That basically sums it up.
Well, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, and everyone will be checking out your new single, Silly People, because it sounds like a really interesting song, and it's great, so it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, thanks for having me.
So now to hear Blank's brand new single, Silly People, released on the 1st of May. Blanks, take it away.
We're silly people looking for some trouble. Don't need a reason to eat forbidden apples. Every sunset ends another battle, and we don't get it. Oh no, we don't get it. We're silly people looking for attention, vibing with strangers and turning them into friends. Yeah, good at pretending up until the end, yeah. And we don't get it. Oh no, we don't get it. Oh oh, playing with some feelings. Oh oh, we're scared of all our dreams. Yeah, oh oh, we're dancing with our demons. Oh oh, we're just looking for some meaning. Just looking for some meaning. Just looking for some meaning. We're silly people looking for some pleasure. We numb our feelings to feel a little better. We find a lover to feel alone together. Oh, we don't get it. Oh no, we don't get it. Oh oh, we're playing with some feelings. Oh oh, we're scared of all our dreams. Yeah, oh oh, we're dancing with our demons. Oh oh, we're just looking for some meaning. we're playing with some feelings. Oh, oh, we're scared of all our dreams. Yeah, oh, oh, we're dancing with our demons. Oh, oh, we're just looking for some meaning. Oh, oh, we're playing with some feelings. Oh,